E for options.
Yeah, and the kids are super excited about just the conversations, and so
Oh, good.
they come down to
Good.
finalizing the minutes pending will be wonderful.
Yeah. Seeing that we're online now and just a few minutes behind, I will call this meeting to order for Port Orford-Langlois School District Work Session at 5:13. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Great. Well, moving on to item number 2, new business. We're looking at board goals. I'm just assuming that I'm going to read the items and you guys will get verbose and excited.
What I was hoping would happen, obviously up to all of you guys, but what I was hoping would happen is we could take a look at the way that the Umatilla School Board set their goals, where the board goals are actions that the board can take to further the board's work. We have what we set a couple of years ago that I think Stephanie included in here that are we call them board goals when we set them, but they're really like district goals. And I think what we said is we want to relook at those, but we really want to do that in the right time sequence with Erin's review. So now would not be the time, but we could think about when that time would be. But maybe what I was hoping for this meeting is we could actually brainstorm and think about what we might want to set for ourselves for our goals, the actual board goals.
We would place on our person.
What we would place on our persons, right? Not on Erin's person.
Reflecting on hearing this about how they would make it a goal to attend event. I thought that was fun. I think that it encourages us to share with each other when something is happening too.
I really like the way they've got it. I had a couple of editing things that I would do different, but pretty much the way they are is just admirable.
Oh, like actually looking at the 6 goals that they've set and just saying, yeah. We could
Ditto.
Well, goal 1, put a period after better and get rid of by the end of the year. Okay. Just
right. Sure.
2, just like it is. I mean, that's great.
And I'm wondering 80%, we expect 85% attendance from our students. I think we should expect 85% attendance for a board meeting.
I think that we're here to elevate standards as a culture. It should disseminate.
I don't think that's really an issue with our board anyway.
No,
I don't either.
I don't think it is.
It's not. In the past, it has been a big issue.
Yeah, it has. There were times where they couldn't even get a quorum together.
Wow.
Yeah, and not just one meeting,
Numerous.
meeting after meeting.
Oh,
Significant number of people, I think.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and just because it's a goal doesn't mean like you're like, you're not.
Right.
Well,
I'm just.
it is in the bylaws that we can remove a person from the school board for failure to attend.
Yeah, I think it's 2 meetings. If they miss 2 meetings, you can discuss.
Yeah. I mean, which is fair, because if you're not coming to
Right.
meetings, what are you doing?
Right. And when there's only 5 of us, especially, it gets really.
Well, the reason that there are just 5 of us now is because it was 7 and they couldn't get people here for
Right. It was hard to get the quorum.
the quorum together.
Right.
So we thought, okay, let's reduce to 5. So we have a little
Yeah.
easier, perhaps, it doesn't make sense to put people on the board if they're not able to the board's business, for one reason or another. So,
Yeah.
Well, and especially now that we can Zoom, even if you're not feeling good, you can still attend the meeting.
Right. Or you're out of town or something if you're,
and that's a new addition.
I like that though.
The Zooming thing, that puts a whole new wrinkle on it because you can be here if there's some legitimate reason why,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I think it helps just
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I like your idea. Bump it up.
I can
I would agree
support that
with you.
85% too.
No problem.
Yeah.
What does that work out to be?
10 point something is what I got. 85% of 10.2, 85% of 12 meetings, but we actually have more because it's work sessions, et cetera. So,
Mhm.
So if a person missed 2 board meetings in a year, that's pretty much the
mhm,
That's pretty much the
That's their-
threshold
yeah.
of 5%.
yeah,
Mhm.
So that kind of lines up nicely.
But if they're
Yeah.
missing those two and still maintaining work sessions, other things, their percentage will be higher in attendance
Yeah.
globally. But yeah, this says board meetings.
mhm. 10 out of 12 is 83%. So, yeah, so I think 85 is a noble goal.
Mhm.
Yeah. We don't want them to be gimmies. We want them to be a little bit.
Well, I just feel if we're holding our students and our families to that accountability level of
Right.
85%, then we should hold ourselves to that same accountability.
Yeah.
I can support that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The examples and the standards should all start with us.
Yeah. Thank you for that slight adjustment. I might not have made it, but I'm glad that you know.
The rest of, except for changing the identity of the school district at 5. Small modifications we just described, put a period after better and put 85 in place of 80.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I have a question on number 3, and this made me wonder when I was reading it. We have talked about, and I guess it's in public comment, about not hearing praise or complaints.
Mhm.
And so I'm just wondering about the recognizing staff accomplishments. What does that mean to all of you? How do you see that happening above and beyond, like the reports from principals and from Aaron?
when I read it, I thought immediately of our showcases, which we already do, where we invite
Right?
Yeah.
staff members in to share what they're doing. To me, that's recognizing.
Mhm.
It is within a limited perspective because it's only that staff member doing their staff niche. We don't recognize that staff member in the full spectrum of what they do for the school.
Well, because a lot of is shielded from us by us staying in our lanes.
Yes.
I don't know, and I should know, if a teacher is recalcitrant about keeping their records up to date, for example, by expectations.
Right.
Turning their grades in on time, or our students waiting in an inordinate time for feedback from their homework or your other lessons and things. That stuff we're shielded from. So the only thing I really do see is, in the broad sense, what are they doing in their classrooms?
Mhm.
And as you said, in their niche, their specialty.
I do think that it would bring a little bit of vibrance to that staff member to acknowledge the other places that they may show up outside of that one classroom that we're looking at. Acknowledging either, do they show up to coach? Do they support the outside clubs in a way? Or it doesn't have to do with the educational spotlight per se, but I do think that would be what I would think of for staff accomplishments, to consider how much more those people are offering beyond. But it's a fine line in staying in our lane. So
Well, and it's a fine line. Also, I worry about that from the standpoint of you're expecting people now to do things that you're going to recognize them for kudos that are outside of their contract duties and not being compensated for it in any other way. And yeah, it's great for people to want to do that. It's even greater when they do. Okay. But I'm not sure that making a recognition, I'm not sure if that fit, that doesn't feel quite right to me.
See, me either, because to me, I feel like teachers already have a difficulty maintaining a work-life balance.
mhm.
And to be acknowledged because you're breaking a work-life balance is an issue. And my other issue with this one has to do, equity may not be the right word, but it's very easy for us to spotlight high school teachers who have all of the clubs and
Mhm.
have all of the newspaper and the chess club and the FBLA and FFA and all of that. Whereas our elementary teachers, they don't necessarily have those,
Access to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so where does that fall in? And it isn't that we haven't in the past had elementary teachers who have come and done clubs at the high school,
Mhm.
but it can be very difficult, especially with the distance between schools, for the teachers to have those relationships with students for that club activity and to be able to complete their activities at the elementary school and then get to the high school for that. And
Mhm.
I don't see those same opportunities of happening at the elementary school, like an after-school math club. There was a time where Carol and I did an after-school math club, and I don't see that same equity. And then my other concern is that our policies are that we do not mention staff or personnel and praise them, positive or negative, in a board meeting. And so on this, it says the board will recognize staff, and that to me is kind of in some murky water.
I would vote to not have that one on there just because, and then what if you have, I mean, sometimes you have the same people that are wearing all the hats. And then what, we just have like the same
Right,
people,
yeah, on repeat.
And teachers have different family needs,
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like me, and it's not that I don't work at coming to school events and stuff, but I work. And then I have an hour and a half commute total each day to get to work. And I'm in the education field, so I'm already not maintaining that work-life balance because I'm not getting paid for all of the hours that I'm working. And then to try to get back here in a time to make a lot of these events and stuff are sometimes difficult. And I don't have an issue with being expected to attend school functions, but I'd be interested in how many functions are there a year that are available for attendance? And where does that 6 number work into that?
Yeah.
Because I'm not being paid to be a school board member. And so I'm sorry, my family and me having a house to live in and food to eat and electricity for warmth is a priority for me.
Mhm.
And so, you know,
Could we focus it on professional growth? If a staff member takes advantage of an opportunity to take a course that advances their professional capabilities in the classroom, that should be recognized. That can be I think can and should be recognized. If a teacher's performance is such that they, how do I put this? Rises above the average in noticeable ways.
Well, no, because I think they're all kind of remarkable in their own way, but yeah.
Teacher here not that long ago, who was at the state level, okay, for his accomplishments, okay? Something like that, I think should be recognized. We should not fail to recognize accomplishments of the teachers that are in the professional realm, okay, where they're improving themselves and what services they can offer the students in their classrooms. I think we should be able to recognize things like that.
One of our previous board goals was that recruiting, and we talked a lot about growing your own, and so that actually, if there's something that is building skills, especially of folks who are moving into the teaching ranks or really, improving their skills so that they can teach a broader array of classes, that seems like that actually supports really well one of our district level goals. So I don't know quite the right wording, but that kind of strikes me.
well,
I just don't know if it needs to be a goal of the board.
Right. I
of our
think
persons.
Yeah, it
That's
feels
only-
like
it
the
doesn't-
action isn't ours. It's actually like Aaron's to bring it to us.
Right.
And we just do that.
Well,
Right.
it's ours in the sense that we're not waiting for Aaron to come and tell us we should recognize so-and-so for
Oh,
this.
I think we have to. That's what worries me about this one is that gets out of our lane to say, oh, I want to recognize this person. I
Mm-hmm. That
mean,
could look a
would-
lot like favoritism.
Right. And that might be a conversation, a one-on-one conversation with Aaron, but it seems like it's got to come to the board through him.
Well, okay, so we have a program in place where staff members are able to apply for tuition, not
Right,
grants,
that tuition. Mhm.
that we approve, okay, that is intended to be specifically targeted to them advancing their professional qualifications and bringing something in. Now, that's not something anybody makes you do. It's not, I'm sure most of it is something they would do outside the class, but it's not, it's their advancing their professional capability, not just showing up for school function. Not that something wrong with showing up. For
Yeah.
school function. Okay. I think perhaps that's worth recognizing, okay?
Well, I'm wondering, because, you know, I don't disagree with you, Bob, like the one teacher that you were talking about, there was a reception or a recognition held here at the high school and board members came to that. And the way I would see this working is rather than it being something that's happening in the board meeting, is something that like the board works with Aaron in sponsoring those events. Like, you know, we would work with having the school-wide, community-wide recognition. So it's not part of a board meeting, but like that was, there was an assembly held, the students attended the assembly, people of the community attended that assembly, board members attended that assembly, and that was a recognition. And the same with staff members who are obtaining professional goals. We could have a set assembly or whatever you want to call it, a set occasion of recognition sometime during the year where they were honored and were honored in front of, you know, where the students and the community and board members. What do you think of that idea?
I like it a lot. If we were to remove from the statement, from the way the goal is stated, the part about it happening in the board meeting.
Yeah.
then
Yes.
That
It
allows.
says at every too, and that's the part where I don't think we should be consistent. I wonder if maybe taking it a step further arm's reach outside of staff. So this says staff accomplishments and
Throughout the school year.
pluralizing that to the we of what, like, total amount of continuing education were they able to put together as like a group rather than individuals. And that would kind of give us more arm's reach on an opinion of a specific staff member or acknowledging a specific staff member and acknowledging as a group the people who are working. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it less individual because I do think that individual moment is a little sticky.
But that's the part I feel is essential.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I feel that's essential. From the standpoint, that's one of the motivators. People deserve and should be recognized when they make that kind of contribution to the school. We shouldn't have to dilute it in a group award
Mhm.
so as to not fear mentioning somebody who didn't do anything, okay?
When I feel like as long as that it's coming from Aaron and then kind of presenting to us, I feel like that's fine. That doesn't make me too squeamish about recognizing individuals because I think that is a good point. But we're almost like asking Aaron to, we want to
It
recognize
almost
people that
feels
are.
more like a superintendent goal rather
Yeah,
than.
here we go again.
Yep.
Right. I wonder if that one, how much does that really? Because I think that our spotlight
Mhm.
supports that insight, but that we do need to be careful of
Mhm.
acknowledging specifics without having Aaron be the,
I feel like if we changed
Frame.
it to just request that Aaron, you know, provides us with staff accomplishments, that could be a really good superintendent goal. And then it doesn't feel like we're Stepping out of our lane too.
And then do you guys feel like, is that an area that we are not doing enough? I guess that's, does it need to be a goal or are we doing adequately? I mean, I'm sure we could always do better, but we do, I think we really enjoy those educational spotlights and we keep asking for those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think so much of it gets very tricky in just that stance of that separation between board members and school. Like, you know, we talked about it a little bit at the end of last meeting. You know, you have a child in the school district. It's not as difficult for you to go in and talk to teachers. You have children in the school district. I don't have children in the school district. And all of a sudden I'm supposed to schedule a meeting and I have to have like a tour and stuff to make sure that I'm not breaking some boundary and there as a school board member. And that makes some of this stuff very difficult from my perspective because to me, that's at least a half wall there of kind of being aware of some of that stuff that happens, you know? Whereas when you have children within the district, you're more involved, you hear more and stuff. I don't know how to say it without,
No, I think
but
that's clear. Yeah.
you know, I would love to just go into the school and like I used to do before I was a board member, I spent hours volunteering in school classrooms. I wasn't there to make judgment about teachers. And just because I went into a teacher's classroom didn't mean I thought that they did really bad or I thought they did really good. It was a teacher who welcomed me and I felt like I was contributing something to our community by, you know, spending a few minutes with children who are struggling with math or children who just needed someone to sit and read with them for 10 minutes and stuff. And it was something that I enjoyed too. And so I thought it was a plus. And so,
So that gives me an idea. So, because I had some notes of other things that I thought could be considered as board goals. And one of them was this issue of how do we as a board visit schools? Because that's the thing that I really want to work on. And maybe that's actually what we are looking at is some way to build the board's connection to the school while staying in our lane. And I don't know what that is, but it seems like that's something that I've heard from all of you guys that you're interested in, except those of you who already have solved that problem. I'm not solving it by having.
It's a different involvement, though. It's a different involvement because you do have to have a
Yes.
different hat when you come
Yes.
in.
So true.
And I mean, if you're there only to see the teacher. And usually because there's something, you're not there for the administrator
Right.
because then otherwise you need a liaison.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's a different approach as a parent.
Right, exactly. And
I would like, as a board member, it would be supporting administration in a way. That's where you would end
just
up.
getting more
started.
insight into how do programs work? How are things happening in the schools? Just understanding what is day-to-day life really like for the kids who come to our schools so that when we're sitting here, we can.
Yeah, as a board member, I'd go in and watch everybody but my kid. But as a parent, I go in and I want to talk to the teacher about my kid.
seeing me as a parent, I just went in to help the classroom in whatever way supported it. So,
As a parent volunteer, I've been in other classrooms than my child's, I will admit.
There. I don't know if this is still, I don't think this is still happening. I remember though, early on when I started working for the district, that the school board was in part involved with the first day of school process with onboarding the teachers and everybody getting together and we're here for another school year. In that a member of the school board, I think it was usually the chairman, was there and actually opened that meeting for the day. I'm wondering if we shouldn't ask about being included at that point.
All right, didn't
And
you?
also, with whatever assemblies are going on first couple of days of school where students are being introduced to, the year, I think we got to be there and introduce to them as a group and perhaps even one-on-one,
Mhm.
so that if we did show up, they know who we are.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can make it clear at that point in front of everybody, both groups,
Mhm.
why we would be there. That we're not coming in to do formal assessments of anybody. That's not our job. That's
Yeah.
parents' job and the principal's jobs. But we need to know, or would like to know more about the day-to-day happenings in the schools for which we are responsible.
Right.
Okay, they're free to walk up to say hi. If we walk up to you, you're not in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
We're part of the team. And so that there's we break down the barriers a little bit there.
Right.
But I would still expect, I don't think it's unreasonable, I would still expect to say, if I want to come visit a school on a given day, I should let the office know I'm coming. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as having to worry about where I go once I get here, once I'm signed in, I'm sorry, I should be able to go. I don't need a guide to take me around. But if we haven't created that relationship or that expectation first,
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
then I could
Right.
see where it might be
Right.
varying for someone.
Right. I like the idea of doing it early in the year and really
Yeah.
setting that tone for, these are your folks, they're out in the community, they're totally approachable.
Yeah.
They're here for you.
They introduce
But
everybody else.
we're also, I don't know. I feel like I am constantly fighting off people coming to me with things where I'm like, that's not,
It's not a board thing.
it's not a board thing.
Right.
All the time.
Right.
So maybe making that very clear too, like,
Well, as part of the
Because-
introduction that we might have, that would be something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
School board, we're not here. to
Broadcasted to the
answer your
community as a whole.
complaints.
Right?
Yeah, my favorite phrase has been, thank you for that. I don't believe this is board work. And then I get quiet because I want to hear it, but they should know, like, if you want to continue,
Yeah,
I may not be in an exchange.
right.
Yeah. But I still want people to feel safe, even if we don't feel that safe, because there's only one grocery in town. That gets real.
Had many parent-teacher conferences over the tomatoes.
Right, produce.
Okay.
So or more of you are in favor of striking 3 than modifying 3?
I'm in favor of striking 3, just because I don't see a good.
But considering it for the superintendent goals,
Consider it for the superintendent, yes.
because I think that's where it just fits better.
Mhm.
I like the goals still, I just don't think.
I do too, because I like that idea of having staff recognized. And I don't see Corinne and Bob's 2 points of views of necessarily excluding each other, because it's not like we have to hold an individual, this one is for staff member A who's doing this, and then a month later, this is for staff member B, but that we have one occasion and each one is individually mentioned and recognized during that occasion and stuff. So
Yeah, I like that.
Why does it even have to be public?
it doesn't, but that is part of it.
Why couldn't there be something that we did? It was quiet and on the side and directly personal to the person being recognized.
With the proper
You gave 'em-
channels,
You gave them a fountain pen or whatever,
under $50.
No, I'm fine with that too.
Oh,
Some
just-
people like to be public recognized, and I guess that's why we go with public, because this kind of had that public venue, but it doesn't have to be. I'm still
Could-
looking for a trophy for something, so anyway,
Could it just read, the board will recognize staff accomplishments
Doesn't say.
throughout the year?
Well, I think it still could be a superintendent thing, but I think that
Yeah,
we
it
should
wa-
be supportive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like we have held value in the educational spotlight. We do find it interesting when our staff speaks to us. I wonder if this is even necessary, because we do hold it as a priority. It is within our practices. And I love the exploration of how else it could look. But then again, does it need to be a goal if we're already trying? And it maybe not is on our person as much as how we want to work with the super.
Mhm. I feel like the part that I don't have good visibility of that Bob brought up, that does seem like it really could be a board, could be related to our goals or more of our district goals, is that part of building teachers. So as we have assistants who are taking classes and making the effort to do that, it seems like that really is something that we should recognize because it really is a value to us. So that part feels goal worthy to me, however it rolls out.
I agree, and I also just want to put this out on the table because I think sometimes it's something that gets forgotten. And that's even our support staff, because
Yes.
within the
Yes.
kitchen, you know, yes, it's required to have a food handler's card, but they actually have another level called the Safe Serve
Mhm.
card, which has a higher requirement to pass that test and things like that. And so in the cooking staff, if they're doing that, or what if they are taking some kind of course or something on supporting children in their social emotional development. And when you look at your janitorial staff, and you know, they have different things that sometimes that janitorial staff takes on that is above and beyond doing the janitorial jobs.
That's a
and
really
stuff.
good point.
And I think that there's so many staff in our school district that wear several different hats that are not necessarily always compensated in a I don't know what word to use, but you know,
Well, even to say thank you. I mean, even
Yeah,
if it's as
thank you for
simple as
putting
a
that
card that we
out.
actually sign and just say thank you for XYZ.
I don't see anything wrong with adding it to our agenda though, where it's like appreciation.
yeah.
And, you know, maybe we don't always have something, but we give space for it. And I mean, because we've kind of moved too recently, I've noticed. We were moving away from reading all the stuff during the meeting. And I noticed at the last meeting, like we spent so much time where they were just reading off of the reports that they provided us, which I don't feel like is necessary. If we kind of cut that down the way we had it before, where it was,
We
give
just,
us this, we
Mhm.
discussed this
Right.
before, and it's kind of,
Yes.
it's getting out of hand again. I kind of wanted to bring that up where I'm like,
No, it's a good
we don't
point.
need it read to us because I read it before. I mean, I
Mhm.
think we all do before the
Mhm.
meeting. Go over some bullets and then have more time for an appreciation thing would be better. I mean,
Maybe that's a board goal.
I
Come with all your materials pre-read,
love
Yeah.
that
but that also could, I mean,
because I think it saves time too.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, and that was part of the reason that we originally had Stephanie start sending out the board
Mhm.
packet.
Mhm.
And the goal was the board packet came out the Monday before the Monday of the meeting, so
Mhm.
that board members had that time to read through the board packet
Mhm.
and form questions if they had questions and ask for clarity if they needed clarity. Because when I first got on the board packet usually came out on a Friday night and the board meeting was Monday. And
Yeah.
it didn't give time, especially if you had a question, because people supposedly weren't at work on the weekends. And so if you didn't get your question in Monday morning, or it was a more complicated question, there wasn't time to address it before the meeting. And so I think it should be an expectation that board members are prepared for the meeting.
I agree.
how would we write a goal? That, because I agree with you.
Yeah, I think we all.
I think it's simply just
The
that,
expectation is,
yeah, the expectation or that board members will strive to,
Don't give me no stripe.
I know, like,
You can do it or don't.
okay, then,
Means prepared, having reviewed the packet prior to the
Yeah.
meeting.
Could that
That
even
way
be
it's-
part of goal one, where we're going to be at the meetings? I mean, that's kind of.
And
there you
That's-
go,
that's
there you
throwing
go.
out-
Attend
Prepared.
and be
I
ready.
wanna- I want to break that. I want to disagree in the sense that maybe goals are easier to attain and more straightforward if if you
They're
if you
separate.
break them
Okay.
out.
Okay, I'll
Break 'em
take
out.
your expertise on that.
I would say, I like the expectation. I think we should write it in as a goal, perhaps in place of the one that you're worried about with goal 3. For the time being, as long as we can stay amongst ourselves, we're gonna look for opportunities to recognize.
I think it's a great one to add to the superintendent goal, and then we can, yeah, said, if we cut back on some of the reading of all the paperwork that we've already read, we could have more time for, I mean, then we, at that point too, if we just have it as like appreciation time or however we word it, we could discuss, do we want to plan an event for them? Do we want to purchase a gift?
That's because what we're saying, I like that, Angel. What we're saying is we're reserving time, not like we're poking the people in there, but we're reserving time and then
Deciding at that
Yeah.
point, based on
Yeah.
what it is.
that's interesting.
Prioritizing a culture of appreciation rather than specific acts.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, and then it leaves us with just a little more flexibility and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Happily.
Please.
Absolutely, you guys should get your materials ahead of time, and that has been a problem. That's something Erin and I have to work on to tell the teachers and everybody, we need to get this by the deadline, because we tend to let that slide because they're so busy. So that's something we can do, but Erin and I are gonna have to really crack down on that. If that's what you want, then that's absolutely what we'll do. Because you can't just read it over the weekend and absorb everything and have all the questions, so. Right, that's a great goal. That means we have to tighten up our ship too, and we're
So
willing.
that's a district goal as well.
oh,
Yes.
that should be, yes, yes.
Yeah.
District goal. That's a great.
I felt like that was on part of the operating agreement that we had that,
Could we,
We can add that here because technically, I mean, we have our board and district goals, so we could just include that as a district goal to have the packet available by the Monday prior to the meeting so that the board members have
Or-
plenty of time to review and be prepared for the meeting.
maybe the Wednesday before the meeting or something.
Which is what the
Like,
policy says, which is what I always strive to do. I know Judy, you'd want the Monday. But what we found is that things happen between that Monday.
Yeah.
And the Monday where the meeting is held. So Erin often has additional things to add that don't get added to the.
And I'm fine with Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't
Wednesday's still
care,
enough
just
time.
so that there's a couple of work days.
Days,
to-
yeah.
So you know, it's
Yeah.
not your weekend.
Yes.
Tearing your time yet again.
Mhm.
Or calling you,
So,
what does this mean?
yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday's plenty of time.
But whatever you decide to do, just know that we need to crack down our end and we're willing to do
And I
that.
say give it more time. So if Wednesday gives them, what, 2 more days?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. And it does
That's-
seem, I mean,
It
it's
adheres.
fast moving, lots of stuff happens. And so there's a whole
Yeah.
week, then it's outdated. So.
and that maintains the
That might
policy
be-
rather than pretending that we needed
Yeah.
to rewrite policy or a whole different standard.
Absolutely.
So can we formalize something here? Are we gonna strike 3 as it is, or should we change it just to put appreciation?
Well, I think we're gonna put goal 3 in the superintendent goals. And then we're gonna
Okay,
have,
I thought I heard something mentioned about putting it on the agenda, on the school board agenda,
yeah, I think,
meeting agenda.
yes,
Which would make it a board goal.
would that make it?
Well,
Mhm.
blocking in time to ask ourselves, is there someone we should be appreciating? And if there is, then what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Like you were saying, if we spent less time reading, or having something read to us that we've already been given to read.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, it's a little triggering to me.
I feel that. It's in writing, must be repeated, but anyway, so.
Good work, team. So is
Yeah,
it
so-
that the board will reserve time at board meetings to recognize staff accomplishments
As provided by the superintendent.
provided by the superintendent?
Ooh.
Good. You are so wise.
But I do feel like we are knocking goal 4 out of the park, though.
Yeah. No, I have to-
Our budget probably
Maybe
reflects that.
Got that
Yeah.
one pretty well nailed, yeah. Well, we've all been to OSBA conferences. with-
Almost,
I'm
right?
not actually.
But you
Well,
But I
committed,
go this
right?
year.
Yeah.
I made it way easier now. I love that.
But also reviewing the policies. This has been a priority, above and beyond what they feed us. And then I do think we have prioritized training and that attending the South Coast
Like the
ESD
legislature
is
thing and all.
attending. So yeah, we're all attending something. We all prioritize that.
Except when they reschedule it, when I'm already scheduled to be out of town.
Okay, I have close to my goal 6 in the sense that I don't disagree with it, but I'm curious, how would we envision accomplishing it?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Proper channels.
Well, you talked about basically how let people know what lane we actually work in. That's my question. How would we do this? How would we get this message out?
I do like it though, because I do feel like it is an issue. I mean, I
Not disagreeing.
constantly, all I do when people tell me, I just tell them that board members aren't involved in the day in, day out activities. We set policy
Yeah.
and we work with the
Still-
superintendent. And
Still-
that's kind of my short and sweet way of
So I always say,
escaping.
have you gone to the teacher with your complaint and then gone to the administrator of the building?
Mhm.
And then gone to the superintendent? Because until all of that has been done, I can't even consider it as a board issue.
Mhm. That's smart.
Maybe supporting each other in what that dialogue might look like. I don't know if this is like role play in the grocery or if we're able to all have somewhat of a consensus that, yeah, we'll remind them of the order of operations. We'll all carry a business card with the district office on it so that we could
Oh.
respond that way. We will share.
Except if they haven't gone to the teacher first, then they
Right.
shouldn't go to the district.
Right. But there's the ways that we could all
Yeah.
have a cohesive response to support each other and know that we're all responding similarly.
And maybe it's something that should be more in sight on the website.
Ooh.
This is how,
Yeah.
this is how you resolve a complaint within the district.
We have.
And just have it, I mean, it's a
Isn't there
policy, but
complaint
who's,
procedure?
yeah, there
Yeah.
is. There's a policy for it.
Right,
Yeah.
there's. Yes.
But who's gonna go and read through a million policies to figure out which policy it is that you need to read to figure out the answer to your problem? But if it was like plain out there on the website, if you have a problem with the district, first you contact the teacher, then you contact the principal, then you contact the superintendent.
Assuming it involves a teacher, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, those are also reiterated, I believe, in the school handbooks for when families receive those too.
Yes.
So it's not like it's not out there.
Well, okay.
It's
But yeah, it is curious. How do we keep the public educated? No, they just.
Well, the next page in your packet there is the good old SMART goal thing. And you don't create a goal unless you've got a specific plan for how you're going to meet it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we all agree that this needs to happen. That's my question. How are we going to get it, the message out? How are we going to get it out? Maybe having business cards that have got something that's got our name on the front and on the back, the chain of command they need to go through would be something, because
Oh.
Mhm.
here you go.
What if I want Stephanie's
That They've
number?
got proof that they spoke to you because they got your card. Put it right on the back of it,
Yeah, you can have the principal's information listed and the super.
That procedure is on our webpage,
Yeah.
but it's not out there. So that
Yeah.
would certainly,
But a search button is effective, and if somebody is at the point of hearing one no and dropping it, I'm not sure that's a complaint.
I also think anyone
They
who
would
really
follow through.
Wants to complain is gonna figure out a way to do
Yep.
it. I think that a lot of times you.
But
hear some
legally,
people
so we
think that
hear
They're gonna complain to you and you're gonna handle it because you're a board member.
Right.
They're
Right.
not actually gonna do anything about it, is what I've
Mhm.
noticed a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
The overwhelming majority of times, yeah.
Mhm.
You have to do something.
Yes.
Right,
I
yeah.
do it.
Now you have to do 3 or 4 something.
And sometimes it's, are they wanting to own it?
Would they put their name on that complaint?
Oh, yeah.
Right, right. Or are they hoping to circumvent it with a little anonymity?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's a delicate dance for the public education.
Did Aaron, does he still put out that like newsletter thing.
I've
That
Seen that.
I know he was doing it, but I know things got crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing
Right.
against you, Stephanie, but when Stephanie went on her medical leave and
Because
stuff.
Brittany Problems was out.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was helping him, and so they actually just created a new one, we have a brand new one that's going
Okay.
out, I think, tomorrow.
Okay,
So it has all that information in it, and his goal is to do that monthly.
Uh-huh.
okay.
And so
It did
that,
drop by the way.
Yeah.
That'd be a good place to
I was
put.
gonna say, that might be a place where you
Yeah.
just put a little snippet in each month, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, so having a couple
And I would
places where
not
that
use the word-
information goes out.
Would not use the word complaint.
No,
Feedback,
be anything.
insight,
And
Yeah.
maybe we change it to the district will seek to keep the public educated.
right.
I feel like this is more of a district goal rather than just board members,
Oh.
because if we're talking about the website and, newsletters and stuff, then we're kind of
That's again,
including
not stuff that
everyone.
we're doing, right?
Yeah.
We're asking
I
for
feel,
it,
this
but-
one feels more like a district. We all are working together to keep the public informed.
Well, like, because we have budget coming up and we'll be looking for budget members, for the budget committee and things like that. And so
We'll need to
maybe
know
a little
if any
bit, a
opening.
little snippet about, one of the things that the school board is responsible for is for approving the budget. And that clarifies one of our lanes that we cover. And if you're interested in being part of this process, please apply to be a budget committee member. And explaining, we have 5 budget committee members along with the 5 school board members, because in the past, we've had school board members that didn't realize they were on the budget committee.
For 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe what our role as board members is in this goal is to pay attention throughout the year to look for opportunities where the district could communicate the board role to.
And maybe
community.
as board members, it's our responsibility to each other
Uh-huh.
to identify, to confirm, because there's going to be a lot of other insight here that I don't have, and I find a lot of value in these moments where we're able to bounce things off. There's a lot of, there's wisdom in the room. But our responsibility to each other is to remind or identify or to say, do you see this as a viable channel? Do you see any trouble? Do you think that this is worthy of public attention, or is this a legal avenue? If that's a board goal. Otherwise, it does sort of look like we're blurring some lanes to the district. But as a board personal member, I would think that if, like the budget committee, that's a great response.
Mhm.
Thank you for your feedback. If you'd like to get further involved, we're accepting applications for our budget committee. Please contact the district.
Yeah.
Here's the phone number. Thank you. Have a good day. Or what other avenues are reasonable for the general public to really dig in and understand more about the district and operations?
About having one of our student journalists interview one or more of us about what our roles are as school board members and let them publish an article that goes in the school paper and in the town paper.
Ooh, not it.
Sorry. Yeah. Bob, you would be great at that.
That's a great idea, Bob. Yes, I do think that that's a good way for the
Kids
kids.
involved in it, they would
Absolutely.
They would be
Mhm.
producing the article. We wouldn't have to sit down and write it. They arranged not to have it in there our state recognized school newspaper.
Right.
And then get it into the local newspaper. Their article gives them a chance to be recognized as authors. And we'd be getting a message out.
Well, and I like that idea of what does a board member do, or what would be appropriate questions to ask a board member. I mean, don't ask us this, don't ask us that, we can't tell you this, but what are the things that people could ask us about?
Mhm.
What would be a good, what are the sort of things that a board member can't tell you?
And I would say, okay, before the article gets published, that it comes back to us as a group, just to make sure we haven't stepped
Yeah.
outside the lane.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we'll explain that to the reporters, that this is an necessity.
And the advisor.
This isn't a censorship thing. It's just that no one of us has the right to speak for the whole without their specific
Mhm.
permission.
Right.
Unless you're gonna give that person.
Man, you could start and end the article with that one, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
This individual board member does not speak for the group, however,
Well, they can be assigned to.
yeah.
Mhm.
The group can give you permission to speak for the board on behalf of in this place on this issue. That's in our policy. Is that the right word?
Roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, tripping over my own tongue here. Anyway, I think that would be an avenue that we could that we could use that we haven't done before, and definitely get on the website, definitely get it on their newsletter. I'll see. There you've met the goal. In the SMART goal sense, you've
we have
nailed
our-
three. You've nailed three strategies right now to help us meet that goal. Okay, student publication,
Mhm.
make the school website that deals with that more visible, get business cards for us, and what was the other?
I think that was 3 on the website.
Website, budget committee, Jolly Roger, possible
Oh.
handout
The news.
The district.
of newsletter.
Aaron's
Newsletter, right. That's actually like 5 of them.
And I just think it's good. It's kind of like a side note thing, but I think it's good to be talking about this now when we're not in a controversial situation, to be proactive of this is what we're doing as a board.
Mhm.
Because when you get into controversial situations, then it becomes a lot more intense, a lot more emotional, and it can become
Questioning
very
your motives.
reactionary
Mhm.
and stuff. And so
Mhm.
I think it's good that we're looking at this right now when we're not in the midst of a controversy over it.
So if I took goal 3 and lined out everything after will, replace it, include recognition on board agenda. And that's an as needed, not a invent a reason to recognize somebody.
Yes, yes.
I used to take exception with the student of the month business.
Oh.
Because, they had this predetermined list of things they were going to recognize, and they were going to give it to somebody whether they'd earned it or not, okay? And I used to really.
When a kid comes up to you in April and says, I'm getting the student of the month in June, and it's like, why? Well, because there's only 7 kids in our class
It's
and
my
I'll be the only
rotation.
one left.
Yeah.
I have problems with that too, Bob. So anyway.
Okay. So we'll replace Umatilla with 2CJ,
Mhm.
or Port Orford-Langlois is 2CJ. That's actually the official name.
Yes.
And then we didn't talk about goal 5. Does that?
That's what I'm talking.
Oh, that is, sorry. I'm catching up.
Again, that one's kind of,
Needs is where I get stuck.
well, it's good, but
Right, needs, opportunities,
You see,
she's not.
I
needs.
can think of a particular situation. It wasn't with this school district, but it was with another school district. And David Brock Smith was there, and we were actually discussing the educational needs of preschool students and the need to have some kind of preschool service available to all the students in the district. And, it was a great conversation with him over what kinds of things he could do. It's kind of like when you were talking about being at that legislature thing, where he was asking questions about things and all of that. And so I think when we go to those legislature meetings and we have state and local and federal representatives come to our school board and we have conversations with them, I think that we're meeting those needs of talking about things that affect our school district specifically and what they can do to help our school district. And so I don't know if that's a rabbit trail, but I feel like that's kind of what we're talking. I think we have those opportunities of, what would help.
So our strategy to meet that goal is inviting legislators to attend our meeting, which we've done.
Even city council members. As part of our local
Mhm.
government, and there may be things that city council members can do to,
Mayor, yeah.
yeah. The
Yeah,
city
strengthening those
administrator.
relationships, or at least the ability to have a
Mhm.
dialogue. Or
Like, what about the Parks Commission? Maybe there's something we do with them to improve playground opportunities or something, I don't know.
There's that playground grant that Skytra helped write that's got approved. That's hopefully going to come to something here soon. So,
And like even our local fire departments who put on a lot of events within our school districts, the water safety and stuff. And, we have,
Coos Curry offers safety things. Those are things. that
they
benefit
offer school
students.
supplies. They offer support to families for coats and things like that.
Mhm.
Rogue Credit Union does too. So I think, and I'm sorry, it may be stretching, but having a warm coat to wear when you're outside on the playground does meet the physical growth aspect of education. And so,
When I read goal 5, to me, what I hear is that as a board member, it would behoove me to have a great grasp of what the needs actually are, and then an ability to almost not prioritize them, but be able to say, this would be where you could be helpful as far as whomever you're talking to, or to understand also what their needs might be and be able to kind of keep ours in the background and align those in a way so that you could identify opportunities that would overlap in the community. But we would have to have a good understanding of what the educational needs of students in and out of our district are.
so that might require more work amongst ourselves or with Aaron and with principals, whatever, to build some brainstorming about what are those different agencies or organizations and how would we maybe speak to that.
Maybe we include that in like the data workshop moment where it's quarterly and you're able to say, these are the things where it appears that we either have a need or will have a need soon based on our projections. I don't know.
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't have all the answers.
because I even think of Coast Community Health or Curry Family Medical.
Mhm.
I don't know what their hierarchy
Mhm.
thing is, but when we have hand, foot, and mouth going through the school district to be requesting educational opportunities for them. I mean, it's education is just not reading and math and writing. There's health education that can take place, and maybe they're able to support us in some kind of information or activity that supports washing your hands, brushing your teeth, or some of those health aspects and stuff. And those are educational needs.
Mhm.
So on this one, then I'm I agree. That sounds really good. I'm just thinking of, so then what's my role as an individual board member? It seems like that's when we're staying in our lane means we're not going out and brokering an agreement with Coast Community Health, or what is the role of each of us, or how do we support that?
I think, and I'll just use an example, at one point, I think it had to do with, they call them like snack packs or whatever those things are. And I was having a conversation with Erin about snack packs, and we were just brainstorming. And I was suggesting some different agencies that I knew of that could maybe provide that service to the school district. I wasn't talking to them and making arrangements for the school district, but different groups and agencies that I was aware of within the community.
That would support.
I talked with Erin about those resources, and it was up to Erin to decide whether that worked or didn't work, whether there was something available, whether there wasn't something available, and stuff like that. And so I would just see our role as, when we're aware of a different agency or something like that, to support the knowledge of that resource.
Okay, that makes sense. So like our role then would be to be just kind of scanning as we're going around our community lives and thinking about what relationships might be there that could be beneficial, and then questions.
Yeah. Because we have a lot of local resources,
Yes.
I don't know, like sustainable seafoods for a while. I don't know if it still exists or not, but like they had people who would donate fish to the school, when they were processing tuna fish and stuff, for the school meals. We have local blueberry growers. We have, Valley Flora, and they're all very supportive of our school. They're all resources. It's not our job to go and negotiate with them,
Right.
but, to share those.
And to be aware of the things that would support those relationships too, because many of those are actually grant funded with the Sea to School, Farm to School, and other like state programs. I don't know if we can even, do we just ask if that's a participation, or I don't know how to stay in my lane with that one and know how much are we participating? Is that a participation? I don't know if that's for us to ask or just to say.
It seems like that would be a conversation with Erin
Yeah.
to start and find out if that's already something or not something. It's what I would think.
Wouldn't, as a board, wouldn't it be like all of us to have that same knowledge? Just are we like those channels of relationship, are they established and are they utilized? Just thought, I don't know. I think if we're looking at the community partners in the area.
Well, and I think we have one of the district goals that we set up was that whole community collaboration. And I think that's where I wanted to look at some of our metrics that we had set. I'm trying not to jump topics here, but I think we had, like development of community partnerships. And then we had said there would be artifacts indicative of incoming community engagement. So like some count or something of what those different community partnerships are. And that's Erin's goals too, is developing community partnerships. So I feel like at some point is part of the review cycle, that would be something we can certainly ask for as a board, is to reiterate the community partnerships that we have.
Well, you were smart about that.
Yeah, it's on his full page that I just posted from like the last page of the.
Right on the goals.
Well, and the wording has changed since this one that I had.
This one, I'm sorry for the confusion. This is the Umatilla.
Oh, that's in Matilda. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, there's this one that he's put out that I think we've got I just had this, I pulled it from a previous board meeting. That's got Aaron's, our board goals, which are really district goals at the top, and then his goals that he went below. And so he has, under his, first goal, he has developing community partnerships that increase the number of opportunities for CTE learning experiences and increase the number of local businesses, government agencies, and other entities who contribute and participate. So I think that's almost exactly what we're asking for. So I think as we do his review, that would definitely be a piece of data that would make sense to have, is for all of us to know who are those agencies, and what are we considering a partnership, and what are ones that are maybe potential. And that seems like a really good discussion that we could have with him.
Yeah, it does seem like he's continually developing a lot of those relationships. That wasn't a one and done moment.
Yeah, and just making sure that, that the school staff are aware of, we're not saying you have to immediately develop a relationship with every one of these and stuff, because there is so much time and there's so much to do, and you have to find that balance. Sometimes you're not able to do it all, no matter how badly you would like to and stuff, but
Sometimes.
I think, well, and so, us as a board, if we're staying informed of what those potential connections are, just because it doesn't work this year, when we're aware of that, we have that continuity to, what about next year? It might be 2 years from now or something.
Or as we meet somebody who has a relationship, or there's sometimes just dots we can help connect.
Because we do have a lot of resources. Common Good is another one. They do a lot on helping get things dispersed to the schools.
Yeah.
And looking out for the school. Hey, we have this coming in. Is there something that?
Well, and it seems like that is an area that it makes sense for the board to help, because to just put that all on Aaron to maintain those relationships is not realistic. And that's something that us, by at least saying thank you or just acknowledging or being part of that community.
Appreciating that.
But what could we do as a school board to invite businesses, individuals in the community to partner with us? So I have friends in the cranberry business. Okay, so how would we go about inviting, let's say, a cranberry grower to partner with us in this? Because you're right, I think the board probably needs to take a more active role in this, active role in this. So how could we do that?
I would think that we would need to go through Aaron, wouldn't we?
Because it's a school thing. I don't see it as, I think in our role would be to kind of have that word of mouth relationship type thing. All of us would have different, like, cranberry people. Someone else is going to know
Blueberry people.
Someone else is going to know the fishermen who might donate fish. And I mean, and so I think
I'm trying to figure out how to turn it around. Rather than expect Aaron to go out and beat the bushes and find these people, I'm trying to find out how we could contact these people and ask them to contact Aaron.
I think I would start by, if you know somebody or know of an organization, I would start with that, if it were me, in a one-on-one with Aaron, and say, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think? And he might be like, or he might be like, yeah. And then you could say, what, is that something I could help with? Do you want to contact? Can I put you in contact with somebody? Can I ask somebody to call you? And just let him be the gatekeeper on.
Because he may already even be involved with it.
Right.
There may already be a relationship.
Right.
or there might be some school rule that you can't do this or
Right.
something.
Or he might just be full up this month and he might say like, yeah, let's try that next year. Talk to me later. Or
Mhm.
that's where I would go.
Okay.
Carry his business card.
Hmm?
Carry his
Yeah,
business
or that,
card.
yes, you could always say, hey, give him a call, but it would be nice for him to have a heads up, just,
Right.
you know, this is what I was thinking. And then,
And then to remind those points of contact that it's not in our lane to broker a deal, to
Mhm.
pretend to have details for a lot of things, but to say it is a priority for our superintendent and our district to foster these community connections. Please connect. We would look forward to what you decide together.
Mhm.
And, you know, and that might be a long-term goal. And maybe our short-term goal is to appreciate things that we're aware of that different agencies and businesses do for our school now. Like, I don't remember what month it was. It might have been September, it might have been October. Valley Flora had available to any teacher in the school district, free strawberries and wasn't it salad greens?
Yeah.
Did we as a school district ever appreciate them for that or thank them for providing that to our school staff, you know? And
Personally, but not as a board.
not as a board. And
Maybe we need to add staff and community accomplishments.
yeah, I mean, because to me,
Well-
that's a big thing in building a relationship. And that was quite a gift of love to our staff.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when the different businesses are collection boxes for the school supplies, have we as a school board ever thanked those businesses for supporting our students by saying, thank you for being a collection site
And,
for school supplies?
And that's why we need if we're gonna rewrite goal 3, the school board will explore opportunities for recognition put it on the board agenda. I'm ready to make that wording a little different. All these things you're talking about should be there, because you're right. When people do things, they need to be recognized for it. That's motivation. That's recognition and motivation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea though to include staff and community members in that section.
And that fits with our big district goals and I like it. Yeah. And that would be something that we could just, as things cross our radar, that would be something we could just shoot an email to Aaron. How about this for a recognition too, just to feed him some ideas.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I mean, even if it's just
We have
an
a card and
acknowledgement
everyone
during it and
signs.
everybody signs.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? If
Yeah.
it's as simple as a thank you note,
Absolutely.
we could build that in once, one of the priorities that our principal had was starting to send home postcards. That's a culture that she's instilling and she's encouraging teachers to send those home to families. We could take a note from her and start doing it on the regular to whomever, maybe Aaron deems, since
Well,
that's not us.
this year
but
we blew all our money on the
I can fund some stamps.
Okay, so I was gonna say, so next year when we've got money to spend,
I can sponsor the thank you notes for
we
sure.
send Carol down to the stationery store and have her buy us 24 thank you cards. Okay, we'll just have them on stash here. When something comes up, yeah, write it out. We all sign it. It goes in the mail the next day, you know.
And even not buying thank you cards, we have a lot of students who like to paint, watercolor and draw. And, you know, it may be more meaningful if we just had, and this is putting on teachers, so it's not our decision to make on how we get it, but maybe students would make artwork and then we just have a collection of it and we just write on the
Buy a
art.
box of blank cards and
Yeah.
give it to Ms. Dupree and she can have kids decorate them or something.
I remember seeing in the hallway, maybe it was a couple of years ago, but they practiced fancy letter, style. And so there was calligraphy, there was all
Other
kinds of
stuff we could just adopt.
specific things where you could be like, just do 4 thank yous.
Well, That's gonna take some time to develop. We can go get a card staff.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I can provide this. I just offloaded a bunch and I have more that need homes. I just did.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, if there's something that could be produced in the school that would be unique and special that way, that would be probably better.
Right, but it shouldn't be a
Oh,
gatekeeper for starting.
no, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, good.
And like I said, this doesn't have to be a one-year goal. I mean,
Right.
it can be rolled out
Right.
for
Yeah.
several
Right,
years
the
and a
importance of
building thing.
thinking about it.
Yes. But I do like the idea of acknowledging a lot of that stuff that happens
Mhm.
for our school. You know, what was it? We had how much money donated for Christmas where
Mhm.
families had gift cards and
Yes.
stuff. You
Yes.
know, I think that that is something that under the school board would be appropriate as a
Right, to get
appreciation.
specifically called out. Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea. Just learning to say thank you to people is big.
Mhm. And acknowledging that we appreciate, I mean, that takes time and it takes effort. And a lot of that is done by people who have a passion for different things, but to acknowledge that, yeah, I think is important.
I think that's a great goal to be able to talk to other people about too, and just say, as a board, we prioritize gratitude and try to acknowledge what we can. I don't know how that's all worded in there, but I can get as excited about that as I can going from 80 to 85%, surely. I think that those are small adjustments that make big differences. And if what Janet talks about with the board culture and how it sort of disseminates through to everybody, yeah, both of those, show up, say thank you.
I like what you all have done here. That helps me as a board member. It gives me things to like think about as I'm, as opposed to just reading the policies and like, okay, this seems okay, that's all right. Those are just like really good things to keep in mind and keep coming back to. So I like those as our goals a lot.
I do feel like on the second goal, though, we should maybe not have a number as much as we will try to attend.
School events.
And then, because it's not our opportunity, we don't have the same amount of time and opportunities to show up. But what we can do is share with each other all of the opportunities that we're aware of. And one of the things that they said was they would take a selfie and send it to the other board members to say, I was there.
I
And
don't think we can do that though.
it's not a serial meeting. They claimed that.
They had some group set up and they somehow had gotten permission that they could.
Well, and if you're only sending it to a one person, right? If I'm
send
not
it
sending it
individually,
as a
that's
group, but if I'm saying I'm at the basketball game or wherever I happen to be, I'm at the family dance, whatever it is, being able to send that out to people isn't a serial, you're not deciding anything. This isn't board business. This is sharing with a board member who also holds this priority.
Yeah.
You just have to send it individually instead
Right.
of group chat.
Yeah. But making those opportunities more aware, I think would be helpful just to understand how many things that we can show up for.
Yeah, like when you send me a thing, hey, the play's going on this weekend.
Right?
Yeah.
There is a game tomorrow. Everybody can know that. There is a home game tomorrow.
Thank you, Dren.
Um,
Yeah, so then that leaves it up to each of us to try to do what feels right to us or to be
Yeah.
incrementally
do the best we can and
Yeah, I like
maybe
that.
just confess. Did we do more personally than we did the year before, or did we
Yeah.
not? Which just shows that you had to show up to other places, and
Mhm.
that's okay too.
Mhm.
But I do think that number could be kind of a sticky point for
Yeah,
some
it
folks.
kind of gets
And I
in the way
don't
of
want
the
people to
goal.
feel like they're not achieving that goal just because time is different. Commutes are hard.
I'm
Sleep's
being
important.
honest, when you're working, it's a different type of schedule.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm also being honest, it's 6:30, so I don't know if we want to.
Oh, yeah,
We still have to talk about the superintendent evaluation.
right.
And I was definitely planning on leaving at 7, so I can still go home and have dinner with my child.
Yep.
So I do think that we it looks as if we have touched on each one of those.
So do you want to assign someone to type this up and something we would look at as a adoptable thing and next board meeting?
you thought that would be great.
Good maneuvering there, because you must have seen Angel.
I was definitely pointing at you.
Um,
I'm not a writer, I'm a numbers gal.
And I would be happy to help you if you want.
I'll send you. a
Okay,
draft.
okay,
I have no.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
so then moving, if
I like that
we
we
feel
did like do a lot of tweaking of it too, didn't just like,
we customized.
yes.
We are a unique district. We
Personalized it.
need to make that special to us. Are we comfortable with 2.1 board goals? Feel like
2.1.
that's us. We just did that, right?
Oh.
On the agenda.
Oh, yeah,
One more- I have one more thing. Sorry, Angel.
Mhm.
A couple other things that I had written down, just trying to brainstorm what might be good for board goals. We had talked, I know Judy and I talked, and I think you and I have talked too, about the depth of our ability to run meetings. And I'm going to regret bringing this up because I hate running meetings. But we had talked, I know Judy and I at one point talked to Janet about, can other people than the chair run a meeting? And she's like, oh, that would be just such a great training opportunity. So if you have a meeting that's like non-stressful and you want to have somebody else get the experience of running a meeting,
Mhm.
you certainly can do that. So just realizing Corinne has now an ACE meeting runner, and we know Judy is a ACE meeting runner. So we're good, but that's something that I don't know how the rest of us, I feel terrible about running a meeting, like just a thing I cannot do. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. Or if that's something that you would want to try, or we just want to table that, is totally fine with me too. It's just-
Maybe not a goal, but I do think we could acknowledge the ability. Like if you have a burning desire to learn how to do it, probably would have been helpful for me before.
Just as a goal.
Beyond
if we
one
wanted
budget
to
committee
try
where I
and
had to.
Get more people
But,
with skills at running a meeting.
I have
already
also
have that.
sent
I
out,
don't know.
Vince Adams does the board chair cafe, and I have occasionally sent that out when I get that. It's tremendously helpful, and he's pretty good about an hour, just noon to 1. And a lot of board chairs who have been very dedicated for decades attend that on the regular. And one of the things that he will be covering is the superintendent evaluation soon, as that's the
Wednesday.
season.
The meeting's Wednesday.
Oh, you must have got an email. I need to
No,
get
I
that.
haven't gotten an email, but it was on a
Set.
screenshot that I took at the last one.
Okay.
When he said the next meeting
I
is
will
January
Follow up with
14th.
Vince tonight, and I will try and get that out to you. And I would encourage you guys to try to attend those. While they do say the board chair, it's truly for all board members, and strengthening that ability to run meetings does, I think, strengthen our whole board in functioning rather than having skills heavy one side or the other.
Okay. Makes sense. And then, and I think we're kind of covering this. The one thing that it seems like if we end up deciding to go for a bond, which is a big unknown, we have that bond training coming up, but that's a place where it seems like the role of the board in having community conversations about that bond is going to be something that we need to do. So I think the things that we've already said, as far as building relationships and making sure that the community understands how to talk to the board, I think those things tie right in there. So I don't think we need an extra goal on that, but it's just one of those things that is kind of like hovering in my mind as a thing I don't know how to do that's going to be out there. So,
Another thing to be aware of.
yeah. Yeah. So that's it. I'm dead.
Board goals, do we feel like those 6, are we moving 3 to the superintendent goal, or are we keeping 3 with
No, we kept it with,
heavy augmentation?
We kept the number, but we changed it from staff accomplishment to, we're talking about changing it to exploring opportunities for recognition, whatever that meant.
on the
Okay.
agenda.
Mhm.
Whether it's sending out thank you card to somebody, someone, or recognizing someone, anyone on the professional or classified staff or
Anyone outside of administration,
Whatever they-
basically.
even our administrators. Administrators sometimes go above and beyond on some things too that should be
Yeah.
recognized.
Yeah.
I guess the primary, just to make sure that we have a consensus, the primary difference on goal 1 is from 80% to 85%.
Yes,
Primary difference on goal 2 is to eliminate the 6 events and just to attend school events.
okay.
Is that, oh,
That removes you outside of the scaffold of a SMART goal.
quantifying. So
Specified
what would
minimum
you
standard.
feel comfortable then agreeing to? Because I don't want people to feel like they're not meeting
Yeah.
a goal.
Well, 6 might be high,
Right.
maybe 4.
And it doesn't have to be a feel-good goal. If I don't meet it, I don't meet it. I mean, you
Right.
can always fire me.
No, you can measure yourself on your own ruler and either meet the same goal.
Make that one this year, I'll do better next year, maybe.
Room for improvement.
Then what's a quantity that you would feel comfortable agreeing to? If a quantity is important, what? I'm gonna,
Bob said 4.
I did say 4 because it was kind of 1 1/4. So
I think 4 sounds
Actually,
reasonable.
we're not on quarters, we're on trimesters, aren't we? I hate trimesters, but anyway, that's,
It seems, I would think as a school board member, that 4 is pretty minimal for like a graduation, a play, a game, a thing,
An open house.
an open house. That seems minimal. So I like 6 in that it's just a little bit above and beyond, but it's, it just seems like really for each of us, it's your own personal situation and where.
but
have you
as we're
been, where
setting
you need to go.
baseline
Mhm.
now,
Yeah.
that we're not challenging ourselves to more.
Mhm. So as a baseline, I think 4 seems, yeah.
speaking of public meetings. We had the 2 meetings, Aaron had the 2 meetings his first year with us. That, meeting the community thing, really getting that whole, we ran the surveys and all that kind of stuff. Those would be great times to pass out a flyer asking community members if they have an idea how they can partnership with this school.
Mm.
Okay, it would also be a good place to hand out some kind of a card or a flyer about what the roles of the school board members are. Okay, you've got a body of people there, you have to go chase them down, they've already come to see you. And they're not already mad, it's about something.
And they have an investment in the school. Yeah.
So the next time we have one of those kind of things, we should think about having something that the board is distributing there that deals with either, asking for opportunities for partnerships or for our role.
To support number 6.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
5 and 6,
Us
but
taking a role, getting out the word,
yeah.
instead of expecting the superintendent to do everything. Anyway,
But having a role, or maybe a presence within the community event while still not driving it as a board meeting.
just invite people, persons, individuals, businesses, whatever, to consider partnershiping with the school.
Advocate.
Contact information, Aaron Miller, if they've got something they think they can contribute, like you said, let Aaron be the gatekeeper. But, instead of him having to go out and find them, we can get people to come to him.
Right. Yeah, it'd be nice if everybody was just knocking on his door.
Yeah.
So then the 4th goal seems as presented. 5th goal is to update
Yeah,
to
I've got some
the name.
listed things we mentioned here, right?
Yeah, and goal 6 seems to have almost the laundry list of website.
Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3,
Budget
4, 5
committee.
things here. That we-
Yeah. And
And we were changing that to be the district, not just the board members.
we'll seek to keep the public educated. So then does that make it a district goal?
What if we
That
said the
was-
board members will support the district in keeping the public educated?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
That's there, it seems like these do need to have a role for us. So
Mhm.
we're
Well, that's the whole purpose of having board goals.
right.
Things
Well,
we're
yeah.
going to do, not something we're going to.
Well, I thought it was board and district goals because that's how we had it titled last time.
That's because we didn't know what we were doing, but we're smarter now.
Okay, if, is there any further discussion
I think
on,
we beat that
2.1.
dog.
Yeah.
right, then moving on to 2.2, superintendent evaluation process. I think that this would go hand in hand with Janet's scope of work.
If you all this good feedback survey, they will want to take over the evaluation.
Yeah, we've already agreed we weren't going to be doing that this year. Next year.
Yeah. So my understanding was that we were still going to perform superintendent evaluations this year, and then next
We don't have a
year,
Choice on that.
yeah, next year we'll do this.
Targeted.
Right. I
Right.
think we left it
We left it open. We have
We
not,
left it open, so we need to close that out at the next meeting, but we
Mhm.
wanted to get the scope of work. And just make sure, it just seems like it's way too expensive to do it this year. I'm really sad because I really had hoped we could do it, but
Really, it feels like that window is too large to assume without having a budget that we know would fully cover that.
Mhm.
Um,
There is no budget.
It's a moot
It's
point.
zero.
There's no budget.
So I'm hearing conflicting things, however, that if we did prioritize this, we could find the budget in other places. But I do think it's important for us to be fiscally responsible and to not over prioritize these things. And that I thought was insightful to see, while a Google Doc is probably not the route we want to go, would the staff be open to offering feedback on what those priorities were when we're looking at the places that we are going to be evaluating?
Yeah, that's.
Would
that's
that
what we
be
discussed.
an
Okay.
ask
That's what
of
we
them?
discussed last time,
Yeah, that would
you
be
know.
then putting together something formal.
Well, it lets the faculty know that we're not unaware of the importance of getting their feedback. And if we're not going to use it this year, but you're giving them the opportunity to say, okay, of these 6 areas, pick 2 that you think,
Right.
yeah.
Prioritize the standards that you would wish for us to notice most.
Right, yeah, I think that would be a great
Mhm.
halfway point.
Right. Yeah, they are important. So is that budget.
Mhm.
So I don't know
Well,
how
and
we
if-
go about that.
I understood this survey right from what we got from Janet was that it's not a full staff survey. It's really a survey of like Aaron's report. So it would be his principals, administrators who work for him, some subset of those. Is that what you got too? So I think we also want to be careful that we're not talking about just opening up to all staff. What do you want to know? Or what do you want to, because that's not.
See,
It does include, it
It's a
does include stuff.
chosen
Mhm,
group of people.
mhm.
And we see who this. So
But I think it could be very appropriate to like pull that information, give the principals or whoever those candidates would be a chance to give us input on what of those 8 performance standards. I think that would make sense.
I'm not sure about that because I think last year concern came from staff members. And I think that we need to be careful how the staff members are selected. Like one of those, they have the automatic things that teachers have now where you put all the students' names in the machine and it whirs and it randomly selects who's answering this question or something like that. To have a selection that is more randomized than where an administrator picks who's answering the questions or, or I don't know the contract negotiation crew, they're the ones that choose, because I think that can skew your input to a certain perspective, where
I agree.
as a random staff selection, to me, would be important if we're
But-
giving staff feedback.
But what I understood from how this process works from OSBA is it's not that. It's not randomly asking teachers. The teacher level is not included Did I totally misunderstand this? Or it's really, yeah, it's really
Warren, and again, I'm just saying, you guys can decide what you
Yeah.
want to do and run it past Aaron, but
Mhm.
again, who's gonna compile this survey? Who's it going out to? Who's sending it out? Who's compiling the information? If you're gonna send something out, somebody still has to do that, and then.
That's what we were paying them to do.
That's what we're asking, or I think what I recall is you all are gonna decide if you want to go ahead and do the targeted feedback survey,
Not this year.
not this year, okay?
Right.
So now you're talking about, unless I'm wrong, sending something else out,
Yeah.
right?
Right, and yeah, I'm hearing not the large ticket OSBA item this year until our budget rolls over,
Right.
but an interim inquisition that says,
We can
please
send out-
prioritize the standards you would like for us to consider heavily
Exactly.
and more
Oh.
anonymous
Oh.
without,
And I just caution you to be careful about that.
Yeah.
right.
About who's gonna.
I thought that was
Yeah.
a curious approach to still acknowledge the importance of the staff, hopefully maintaining legal anonymity within that, but then, yeah, do we just
I am
don't
not a
have
fan
that
of that
ticket?
for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm open to your reasons.
The number one, those performance standards that we rate Aaron on, we have those 8 performance standards. We rate them all.
Yeah.
We have not really weighted them.
Mhm.
So that kind of tweaks if then we're getting things from staff that say, no, wait this one, that kind of confuses our process a lot in that short time window. And then I personally feel like those 8 performance standards, every time I go through that review, I have to like read them and I'm like, wait, how is this one different
than the
from
last
that one? It's like, oh, it's just kind of makes me a little twitchy. Like I would like to just make it 4. So I feel like asking somebody who's not even been through that training to go through those standards and rank them for me is like, I just don't feel like that's likely to give me helpful information or be a good use of their
I
time.
wasn't thinking that deeply. I was just thinking about the 8 statements and just say, okay, you pick 2 of these, which are the highest priority. I wasn't going to delve into the,
Okay, because I guess I'm still stuck. My brain is still in the OSBA, the way they do their survey, which uses those performance standards because that's their process. But then it doesn't actually survey the entire staff. It surveys a small subset or some selected subset of staff. And I think prioritizes those who report to Aaron, not the teacher level, which is kind of where we were trying to get information. So.
I wonder,
and I wouldn't be asking them to give a number or give a rating. I'm just saying,
right,
of these 8 standards.
Yeah.
Do you want to be able to provide feedback on which 2 you feel the most strongly about providing feedback on? That's it. I wouldn't get into any of this.
I'm curious if we're not giving the survey to teachers, then what, we have like 3 people we're giving the survey to?
Mhm.
Right?
Was
right.
We have
That-
Chad,
that was
we
what
have Rusty,
Mhm.
Stephanie, and then the 2 principals.
and Tara and Karen.
Tara
Mhm.
and Carrie,
And what about SPED? Is Benita in there too?
classified, custodial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
we have
you
nutritional
want-
services, we have aides. But yeah, if it's not teachers, that does take out a large chunk.
Then it's support staff.
Yeah.
So the teachers are.
But again, I don't know if that was just what I understood from that presentation that we got. And so I could be wrong. It could be
Clarify
that
on that.
there's-
Because I
Yeah.
would like to see teachers in there too. And I also random. I don't think,
No, I agree. And so, because we have a small group and then it's, yeah. So maybe what we actually want to do is be planning now so that we can do this next year.
absolutely.
And since we have a lot of issues,
And
we can start with that discussion.
9 months from now.
9 months from
Not
now.
12 months if we're looking at our
Yeah.
timeline and thinking,
Right,
and we
yes.
still barely have time.
Yes,
The timeline is like kind of get started in October.
right. And
That was
then
part of-
putting it in our budget when we have the board budget, like in digital training, we have money for this.
Mhm.
And then we're thinking about how we want to do it. So we're not deciding at a meeting in December.
No,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
we should already be started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I wonder what other school districts have done that I feel like smaller school districts find unique ways to do
You
things.
can't get any smaller than we are and still be in existence.
Oh, yeah. No, we've been there. They've got like 25 people in a district somewhere out there.
Not much.
Charter schools,
Put your notes in. What do you think?
right? I wonder if there's somewhere between that, pick your favorite standard and a full-blown targeted feedback survey, if there's any other ways to communicate to the rest of the staff that they are important.
Send out, I didn't, not send it out to every picking employee in the district. Saying, hey, we have these, we have these 8 areas. Choose 2 you think are of most interest to you. That's it.
I wonder, yeah,
That's it. No more depth, no favoritism. Everyone's worried about staff, about communication, then there'll be more votes for communication.
right,
And when we do the targeted survey, we can look more in depth at those standards
how that reflects.
that deal with communication, as opposed to some other one of the 8. But I wasn't yet. Don't leave anybody out. That's my suggestion. Don't leave anybody out. It's a simple thing.
No, that I wouldn't.
And that would have to probably go through Stephanie because
Yeah.
nobody else.
Check with OSB.
I would-
Again, I'm
yeah.
just worried about Aaron.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Right.
And when we check with them, we
don't
could
want to
also
inside 'em.
check, can we include teachers in the targeted feedback survey?
Yes. I mean, it seems like we should now start having maybe another discussion with, sorry, Janet,
And-
you're a little 20 minutes at a time.
And
Right,
you know,
right.
all the employees, really.
Yeah.
I'd love to see all the employees pulled at random.
Right.
Mhm.
Everybody here makes a difference.
Mhm.
They are all important. They
Okay.
all work.
In your scope of work, it says the work would include selection of standards and the audience to survey.
Ah,
Mhm.
So the district is going to choose, and you as well will be choosing together who is, and that would, I would assume, include the teacher.
Okay, because I just
Assume, but
didn't.
I would like to get clarification.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That if we're allowed to include teachers and other staff and not just people who directly report to Aaron.
Yeah, and I apologize if I brought that up in error. It was just, that was a thing that stuck with me from before,
That's a
so.
good point, because I would like to see everyone.
Mhm. And it maybe is something that in a bigger district that makes more sense, but I think again, for us, that seems like that's a little bit of a sticking point.
Mhm.
mhm.
Okay.
So then that's a clarifying question for
Right.
Janet.
So it's,
What is the clarifying question?
Are teachers able to be included in this, is what I'm hearing.
All staff.
Mhm.
All staff.
Well, this won't be the first targeted survey OSB has done. I'm sure they have a process worked
Right.
out.
Well, that's what we just want to know. Because Carol was saying, the way she understood it was that it was only people that directly reported to Aaron, which would exclude a ton of people at the school. And we don't like that. We want everyone to have an opportunity to be pulled at random to be in the survey.
and then it also has us select, I mean, that was part of the first step was we
Mhm.
select who, or at least what categories.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So it seems like for us, in thinking about going forward with this next year, it's almost like we need to have another 20 minutes with Janet to.
Yeah.
And I don't care what way we go. I just know that we have had situations come up last year,
Mhm.
and I feel like we have a responsibility as a board to address that one way or another. And there may not be anything that we are allowed to do, and that's fine too, if we know that. But just that if it is something that all staff have an ability to express the goods and the concerns.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Uh,
So it sounds like we need to feedback to Janet to close that loop, that we're definitely not doing it this year, but we perhaps should wait until after our board meeting when we can actually take a vote on it so that we're not,
Oh, we already did. I thought we did that last.
we
board meeting.
postponed it.
Oh, we
No,
postponed
we
it.
got into a lot.
Said the scope of work.
Yeah.
We wanted the response for the scope of work, just to say Yeah, look at that. It's,
I was confused about why we needed a scope of work for services we're not gonna purchase in the first place
Well, because we
for
were,
this year.
and we didn't know how much remained in our budget. We were told we were out. And then the conflicting reports
Yeah.
is if you prioritize this, we will find funds for you.
Mhm. Well, and I mean, when we vote too, we also need to decide, are we just voting no, or are we voting to implement this next year? In which
Right.
case, we need more information before we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where we were like, are we modifying it?
Mhm.
But we could also, yeah, just vote no for this year and then vote for it when we have more.
And then get more
in a couple
information
months.
for next year.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought that's what we had done.
We weren't that smart, Bob, sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
You were ahead.
like I said, it's a moot point. Talk
Yeah,
about
no, you were
anything that's
good.
gonna involve
It took us
budget
a while.
this year because we don't have one. Okay, so we're
Right.
not.
I think we're already thinking ahead for next year because we
Yeah.
need to have it decided and
Yeah, and
by
I,
the time school starts.
and I'd be worried about trying to second guess OSBA when we're gonna pay valuably for the, gonna pay
Yeah.
a price for a
Yeah,
service.
yeah.
I think we should get out the heck out of their way, let them do it, okay?
Yeah, if you're paying for it,
Mhm.
then you need
Why
to.
do I want to get involved in telling them how to
Yeah.
do their job?
We don't, we just want to clarify that we're allowed to have
We
everyone.
want to
That
be
it
sure
meets-
we're
it meets
ordering
our
what we
needs.
think we're
We-
ordering.
Yeah, we don't want to pay
I don't think
thousands
that-
of dollars
I
to
don't think that
survey 3
requires
people.
20 minutes. I think it requires an email.
Right.
Yeah, but we like
Yeah.
seeing Janet for 20 minutes.
Email, say, hey, well,
Bob,
let's
you're so
include- let's
efficient.
include teachers, and that's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Or how do, if not, how do we?
All staff.
Legally, how do we
All staff.
legally include all staff? Right. Maybe it's called something else.
I
Okay,
mean, because if you're gonna, it's not the first time we've done this, okay? So it's like, I can't believe that the teachers would not be in some way involved in that, because if you're only gonna get people who directly report to Aaron, well, that's what, 5 or 6 people,
yes, I
right?
could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Just,
Yeah, the principals
Yeah,
and the confidential.
So we just want to clarify.
So there's like 8 people or so.
That's it. We
Yeah.
just want
But I
to
can't
clarify.
imagine it would include a sampling from every population, so.
Is there more on the superintendent evaluation process to discuss beyond the targeted feedback survey?
I don't think so. So if we're not doing that, that simplifies the need to cram more meetings into this month. And then we have what we have set up in our schedule for how the evaluation proceeds.
and we've got the packet.
We do what we did last
Right.
year and,
That's right.
yeah,
Mhm.
go through the process.
Mhm.
As
Right.
part of looking ahead for next year, we had discussed the need to review our district goal number 3.
Mhm.
No, is this one, right? The workforce? Is that the one we were talking about?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it was. Number 2, because there's aspects in there that we were concerned about that were not really in Aaron's immediate control.
Right.
And so setting goals for that for him was problematical. Best that we maybe need to reconsider what we meant there.
If it says that he's going to review the recruitment and hiring process, he may have had a chance to do that and could tell us how he's either shifted it or if it needs to be shifted at all. Or if what the process was, he's now come to find is what the likely legal process is. There's only so many can change in having an equal opportunity employer.
When you're posting opening and you're only getting one applicant, that's pretty tough to choose new hires to reflect a broader range of experience and cultural diversity. Okay. Basically, you're taking what you can get. And so I'm not sure having a goal for him where he's, we're gonna draw from a bigger crowd somehow is fair or applicable.
Do we then, I guess we just went back to 2.1.
I feel like we're beating a dead bush here.
I'm not gonna build this out.
Well, don't we want to just set aside time, whether it's at a board meeting or at some point, once we get through the review, so we've completed Aaron's review, we're not changing goals on him midstream.
No.
But just the five of us sit down with our board goals and just review them
Prior to next year.
prior to July.
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's like a May,
Doesn't have to
June
be
sort of
done
thing.
now, so.
Right.
Yeah, like
Just
May or
15.
June.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so that we could
Exactly.
actually adopt them in July at the beginning of the year, and then that gives
Yeah.
Aaron a chance to revise his if we've changed ours.
Mhm.
Because I think the superintendent review is done in April.
I think so.
Right. Is there anything further? No, seeing no further business. I call this meeting to adjourn, 7:02.
But we have to,
Do we have a motion?
no,
No.
no, I was thinking that we were at executive.
So.
It was a work session.
Bob, I wanted to say thank you for the ham. What is happening? I saw it, then I saw it. Bob dropped off a ham.
Just drop me door.
We have three neighbors there whose lives we impact pretty much on a regular basis. We're appropriate, just put out a thank you, see, like,